Welcome to the Fall Excel. Thank you for joining me. Today, family members, friends, community paid their respects for Spencer L. Tepe and Monique F. Tepe. Spencer was 37, Monique was 39. They lived in Columbus, Ohio. They passed away on December 30th, 2025 at their family home. Spencer was born on December 9th, 1988 in Cincinnati, Ohio to Tim and Yvonne Hildebrand Tepe. Spencer received his undergraduate degree and his Doctor of Dental Surgery degree from the Ohio State University. Spencer was passionate about dentistry. Spencer also loved competing in almost anything, but his primary sports were soccer and golf. He enjoyed entertaining family and friends. He loved speaking in Spanish, but most of all, he focused on taking care of his family. Monique was born on October 14th, 1986 in Chicago, Illinois, to Ignatius and Narita Menendez Sabatersky. At the age of 1, she moved to Worthington, Ohio, where she was raised. Monique grew up playing soccer, was a runner, loved horses, an avid book reader. Monique loved children and worked at a daycare while attending the Ohio State University to obtain her master's in early childhood education. Monique was a stay-at-home mom known for her bright smile, infectious laugh, caring heart, and bubbly personality. Spencer and Monique met online and quickly grew their relationship into a solid foundation of love and respect with a side of goofiness. They were married on December 13th, 2020 in a private family ceremony. They had two precious children together who were loved dearly. Spencer and Monique were the life of the party, holding many family and friend gatherings. They were generous with kind hearts. Spencer and Monique will be deeply missed by their family, friends, and all who knew them. Spencer is survived by his two children, Emilia and Beckham Tepe, his sister Madeline Misley, and partner Rob, his parents Tim and Yvonne Hildebrand Tepe. Monique is survived by her two children, Emilia and Beckham Tepe, siblings Joseph Sabatersky, partner Muna, and Amanda Roberts, partner Chad, parents Narita and Ignatius Sabatersky, and her grandmother Adelia Soto Lopez. The visitation took place earlier today between 12 and 3 p.m. at Schudinger Northwest, Upper Arlington, Ohio. And the celebration of life took place between 3:30 and 6 at Duamici Restaurant, 6070 Gage Street, Columbus, Ohio. Once again, condolences and prayers to the family. Oh, Lordy. After I did my live last night, I contemplated coming back on today and what I would speak about pertaining to this couple. And I was going to speak about all three of them attending the same university, which I found interesting. But I didn't make the live because I ended up getting information that Spencer and Monique met online. So they didn't meet at the university, although they both attended the same school, Ohio State, and so did Michael McKee, the suspect and first husband of Monique, which I found very interesting. When I first saw that yesterday, that they all attended the same university, I thought, well, I'll come back on and do it. And, speculate a bit. How interesting is it that all three went to the same school? Uh, Monique and her last husband, 2 years older than Spencer. But so far, there's no information that she knew of her current husband, Monique, while she was attending the university, because he would have probably been a freshman and she would have been in her last year of school. Spencer would have been a freshman and she would have been her last year of college, assuming same with her first husband, Michael. But I did find it interesting. Number one was a vascular surgeon, which is suspect first husband, Michael, and Mr. Spencer is a dentist, both in the medical profession. But yet, what? They never knew of one another at Ohio State. That's what the connection I was curious about yesterday. If all three knew of each other, passed each other in school, had same friends, similar friends, and then later each one met up with the other one at some point in life. I was curious. Someone had made that comment in the chat the other day that they had similar friends or mutual friends. I have not gotten any information on any source that either party have mutual friends. But the question still begs, how did Mr. Michael get into their home? And that's going to be my question until I get information from law enforcement to how they believe he entered into the Tepe home. I also have some polls up on my community page that I'd like to go over with you guys pertaining to this said crime. Once again, condolences and prayers to the Tepe family, extended family and friends. What a mess. I keep saying that because I'm just stunned. Because I know every day there's somebody being hurt, harmed. But it's trying to put the pieces together to how it came to be this man living a separate life in another state, gunning down this woman and her husband. And I'm not about to assume what they were doing, not doing, because I don't know. But I did bring all those hypotheses to fruition or to the forefront last night. During the live. So feel free to check out my live from yesterday, where we chopped up possibilities to why this man went to Ohio and gunned down these two people in their house. Should Michael McKee receive a bond? 3 people voted. No, 67%. Not sure, 33%. I put up a post 5 hours ago. I'm curious if Monique Tepe dated Michael McKee when they attended same university. Also, I had FYI, the Tepes and Michael McKee attended the same college. With that being said, they all know one another. Did they all know one another in school? 44% of you said yes, 56% of you said sure, 16 people voted. But once again, I have not got any information that these young people knew of one another while they were all attending Ohio State. And it is said that Monique and Spencer met online. So I don't know if that's Facebook or a date site. It wasn't specified in the article that I read. Do you think the Tepes were happy? Yes for both. 72% said yes for both. 6% of you said no to both. Not sure, 17%. Only one was happy, 6%. One person commented. Bonnie, 2186 replies. Based on their social media profiles, they appeared happy. Monique, who held a master's degree, was fortunate to be able to stay home and raise their children while he maintained a successful career. They were reportedly a well-liked couple with many friends and were known for frequently hosting lavish parties at their home. Well, Bonnie, thank you for commenting. I'm not here to say either way because I don't know these people, but 2 people are dead. And we know that no one has the right to snuff you out, but people can make it right in their own head why they want you deceased. And we know this because it happens every day. My spirit tells me that possibly something was going on. Maybe nothing sexual, maybe nothing romantic. It's just been conversation. People do reach out to people after time elapsed to check on them, to see how they're doing. Maybe say, hey, I ran into a friend of yours, your brother, sister, and just strike up a conversation. And many people have done it, and you heard the stories. People have looked people up on social media, found their old flame, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, whomever, ex-wife, ex-husband, looked them up. Some responded, some did not. Some things happened, such as, hanky panky. Everyone has his or her own journey. But that is the question I asked also. If these two were corresponding, you know, no hard feelings, no issues. Okay, we divorced. I ain't mad at you. You ain't mad at me. Are we going to find out these people kept in contact ever since she's been gone? He's been gone his way. I also learned that he was married a second time, and that marriage didn't work. Please check out Vinnie Politan's commentary. He goes in a little bit hard on Mr. Michael, calling him blockhead. He couldn't get it right a second time. Well, he may have some issues. What they may be, I don't know. But one allegation mentioned during Vinnie Politan's podcast was that she paid for her own engagement ring and wedding band. This is where Queen most definitely have a damn problem. Now, this is marriage number one. Same man who unalived she and Spencer. What in the world would possess this woman to buy her own wedding band, an engagement ring? And I'm not talking about no $500. Okay? I think one was 3,500, one was 2,500, something like that. Hello, Patricia. So I found that odd. And then Vinny pokes fun, at the wedding picture, basically saying, look at her. She looks like maybe she made a mistake. And he's looking, certain type of way, not happy like how the Spencers look in their photos. But what did I say in the live last night? Imagery is deceiving because let's be truthful. Every time a person is unalive, missing, or found dead, the first thing we do is go to social media. People show their pictures, people reminisce, the news gets a hold of their profiles, family donates pictures, and you're looking at a photograph of that day, whichever day it may be, that they were looking well, appearing well, but you don't know him or her. As I said to you all last night in my live, you can go in your Rolodex of photographs and say, yeah, I remember that picture 5 years ago today. I was doing this. I was feeling good. I was visiting my family. But how are you feeling today? How are you feeling 5 years to the date? Because how you felt 5 years ago in a photograph, you may not be feeling that same way today. And I'm not here to say that anything went on between Monique and this ex-husband. I'm not here to say she was out here with any other guy. I'm not even here to say that Spencer was out here philandering. What I am saying is 8.5 years of misery, which is obvious is some type of misery, whatever the timeline is, led this man to go to an entirely different state, almost 6 hours of driving, to gun down two people. That's my point. And you just don't wake up and drive 6 hours to kill two people. And then it's a person he knows because he was married to her. So it's not like a stranger's house he showed up to, made his way in her home, gunned them down, and then took off. Foolishly, he drove his own car. So people are saying it's a rental. That's not what they're reporting. The article I read again today says he drove his own car, which was parked near his business in Rockford, and it was not a rental. So that was stupid. And if you Google, that's the commentary that keeps popping up. The mistake that Michael McKee made. driving his own car and being seen. Yes. It really wouldn't have mattered if it was a rental. You're in it. It can be traced because we have cameras that have the zooming technique, and it can zoom in on the tag. So it doesn't matter if it's under Mickey Mouse name. It's going to lead somewhere. Doesn't matter if you borrowed it. It's your mom's car, your brother's car. You stole it. It's going to get tracked once there's a tag number, VIN number. It's just the way it is. He foolishly drove a vehicle and was seen. Okay, now it's not definitive that he's the guy walking in the alley, but he stupidly drove his car by their house before breaking into the home or entering, however he got in there. And I don't know if he was invited. See, I don't even know which word to use, quite frankly, properly, because I'm trying to figure out how did Mr. McKee get in this home? And so far, that has not been revealed. I'll assume it's coming. But so far, I don't know how he got in that house. If you have any suggestions, feel free to put it in this video. Okay, where was I? I asked you all if you thought they were happy. 72% of you all think they were. Did the Tepes mistakenly leave a door unlocked? 39% no, 61% not sure. Bonnie replies again. The fact that MM drove all the way to Ohio tells me he was determined to get inside that house. I don't think the door was left unlocked. He was going to get inside no matter what. It's well said, Miss Bonnie. Well said. Because that is the point to exacting harm or having a mission. I'm getting in one way or the other. If I can't get in, I'll wait on them, they, her, him to come out. But see, that's more dangerous than getting caught, although he still got caught, scurried away in the wee hour. Doing it in daylight savings time is shown enough foolish. The whole act was foolish. But then there'll be somebody who will say, well, Queen, you don't know everything that happened between them. You don't know if there was something going on. Maybe they still care for one another. Could be, I don't know. And I'm not here to say adamantly that I know, because naturally I don't. But I gave a hypothesis in the last live, and I will surely do the same in this one. Asking all the questions to how these people ended up dead. And why in the world this man would throw away a life as a vascular surgeon working at a children's institute to end up in prison. He will possibly get a hearing tomorrow. Should he get a bond? That is a question I asked you all. Only 4 of you voted. 75% of you said no. 1 of you said not sure. Will he get a bond? If he gets a bond, will it be $1 million, $2 million? Naturally, they're going to give it per person. So he's probably looking at probably $2 to $4 million bond, and he'll probably want it cash. No property, no putting up a house or boat business. We want cash money to let this joker walk free. And 9 times out of 10, he'll have to wear an ankle monitor if he's able to make the bond, if he gets one. All right. So 39% of you don't believe they left the door unlocked by mistake. 61% of you, you're just not sure. I also asked 5 hours ago, I want to know, how did the Tepe's friend enter their home? Nobody commented. The rest of these questions are me just asking you about your home, things you would want done different. Let's see, I've got some more questions as well. Were Monique Tepe and ex-husband Michael McKee romantically involved? 75% no, 25% Not sure. Once again, Miss Bonnie has commented. I'm not convinced that was the case. It's possible that he struggled with seeing her happy with someone else. Easy for him to follow her from a distance while there's no way to know the certain. Wait a minute. Okay, she said the Spencers were very active on social media and frequently shared details of their lives, which may have made it easy for him to follow her from a distance. While there's no way to know for certain, social media could have played a role in keeping him connected to her life. Very true, Bonnie. Thanks for commenting. If you're able to see a person's page, depending on how they've got the settings on Facebook, IG, you can view what people have going on if you're not blocked. So could it be they posted a lot? Obviously, Bonnie's been over there looking. They posted a lot. They're the type of people that's going to celebrate getting up in the morning, eating a bagel, celebrating what their day's like at work, celebrating what the kids are doing. But the one thing, as we have learned, it is very dangerous to get on that horn constantly. And I think most of you know this because we have too many incidents of people dying by going live, TikTok, Facebook, especially when the enemy is watching and you're giving up the juice and the tea, and then they just bust in the door and be like, oh, voila, here I am. You've been talking about me. So let's get this party started. You have to be very careful about what you post to social media because it could be a recipe for disaster. Because, there's always going to be the wrong person looking at what you're doing. You're not thinking about it because you're having a great time. You're enjoying the feedback, the posing of the pictures, showing where you've been, what you bought. But there's somebody in that arena that don't like you. They don't want happiness for you. And they may be just waiting on the downfall of you, your partner, your family, and secretly applauding anything negative that happens that you post. And God forbid, the worst case scenario, wanting you dead. So I do wonder if he watched your social media. I'll put that up on as a poll as well. Thanks for that suggestion. Wow, wow, wow. How did Michael Tepe enter? Excuse me. I put Michael Tepe. God, I got the wrong name up here. I'm gonna have to delete that. How did he enter the home? Monique gave him the code 11%. Let inside by the Tepes 5%. He used the gadget to unlock the door 26%. Not sure 58%. I have to delete that because I put his last name wrong. Sorry about that. Typing too fast. Most of your answering not sure to all of the questions, basically, because you're not sure of anything. If these people were talking, if these people were romantic, if these people were friends, if he was playing a role like he was cordial, but deep down inside he had this hatred towards her. News Nation has a video here uploaded 2 hours ago. Arrest in Ohio killing suggests deep-seated resentment. Ex-FBI agent. I say so. And that's the scary part. Like I said, we live in a world of social media and you're going about your life and your day, posting things and telling people where you ate and your trip to Mexico and this and that. And you really don't know who's out there jumping on your page through another friend's page and they're just laughing at you and sharing your photographs. And as I had told you all a little while back, it's been a little while, but I remember I was talking to a friend, a male friend, Uh, and he was going through his phone looking for something. He was trying to show me something one day. This was a few years ago. So when he opened his phone, he's strolling through the photographs, through the Google memory, whatever. But the weird thing about it, there were pictures of Angela. And I don't know if he realized he had clipped my pictures, because there's no reason for my pictures to be in his Google photos. I think most of us know that. You usually go to Google, right? To go look up your photographs. You remember when you took it? So you say, let me go to June such and such, such and such. So you're pulling up everything you did in June 22, 21, whatever, looking for that certain photograph. But while I'm standing there watching him scroll through this picture that he was trying to find, I'm looking at myself, and it threw me off. Now, one could say, how did you feel at that moment? Well, I was quite stunned. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to embarrass him. Maybe I should have said, why are all these pictures of Angela? Then I could have been flattered. And to some degree, I may have been flattered, but I also knew that's creepy as hell. Because that means every time I shared a picture, he clipped the picture and saved it to his phone. Now, this person, we know each other. We were friends for a very long time, attended university together. So I didn't think anything of it as far as him, being interested in me, because, he was coming out of a bad marriage. So I never thought that he would, what I'm trying to say, be attracted to me. But when I saw all those damn photos, I know I didn't send him those photos. Because that's the whole point of being on social media and you're friends with somebody. You don't have to send them the damn photos, because your Facebook friends, IG friends, which is whoever, there's no need to send the person the picture unless you just want to send a special picture on your own or send a picture on your own. But I know I've never sent him a picture of myself. Never. So when he opened up that phone and was scrolling for those photographs, I noticed a lot of my pictures. And I thought, what the hell's going on here? So then my brain was saying, oh my gosh, here is your friend who you've known a long time. Obviously, he's fancying you, but he's never said anything. It's very strange. And of course, he always doted on me. Oh, you're so talented, you're so smart, and there's so much you could do. I'll see you in TV, radio. He's always bragging on me, which, was very flattering. But I will admit, seeing my photographs pop up like that was kind of spooky. And this goes back to what I say all the time on this network. When I speak about true crime, you don't know people. Because I think most of you know that it's creepy for him to have all my damn pictures in his phone, and I never sent them to him. So that means he clipped them off of Facebook. And that's why they tell you, you really don't know where your pictures are going. Because right now you can go to Facebook, IG, and share that picture if the person will allow you to share it. You can take that picture and share it to your other friend or somebody else through the phone messaging system to say, well, hey, I want to show you what this girl looked like, what dress she had on, or, ooh, he looked bad. And you send the picture. That's why they tell you have to be careful about your photographs online. You don't know where your damn pictures end up. Hell, I remember watching, looking at my own chat, seeing my picture floating on somebody's profile, that somebody's clipped my picture off my damn channel, trying to be cute and funny. Because we're sick people out here. So it's no telling what Michael has been doing in his spare time before unaliving these two people. So this is why I want them to hurry up and give us the tea on what the hell is going on with these three people. Friendship, courtship, nothing. Stalking, relentless phone calls, text messaging, driving by, banging on doors. Let us know. because I can't understand how, one, he got in the damn house, and I don't know how the damn friend got in the house. And I still didn't hear that in the 911 call. This is why I know these dispatchers are just dumb as hell. Because that'll be the first thing I'm going to say after I tell you, oh, well, some of you already called about this guy in the house. So I don't understand why the dispatcher didn't say, well, how are you looking at him dead? That dispatcher missed the whole boat, unless that's not all of the 911 call. Because if you're paying attention, which you're supposed to be doing when you're typing in information, you're supposed to be listening to everything they're saying. You're supposed to be taking in the background. Just like with that Idaho 4 business, that operator was on her job. She could distinctly recognize those kids were passing that phone. That's why she told them, stop passing the phone. I need only one person to spin the narrative. Exactly. This operator was supposed to have done the same. Well, sir, how can you see the body? Or if it was a man, whoever it was. How are you looking at the body? Are you standing on a ladder or are you inside of a house? What floor are you on, sir? Because that would have thrown me off. I got all these people calling saying, hey, I'm worried about my friend. I'm worried about my friend. My friend hasn't showed up for work. I'm banging on the door. I'm banging on the door. Then Susie calls. I'm banging on the door. Hey, he's not here. Okay. At some point, somebody's supposed to say, okay, if you're looking at a dead person and you're looking at blood, where are you? That's what the person was supposed to ask. That's what you're supposed to ask. Well, you're calling me back. Because remember, she said, well, what has changed since the last phone call? And the guy says, oh, it's a body. It's a body. Then she's supposed to say, well, where are you at to see a body? And then the person would have to reply, oh, I'm inside. And then the dispatcher is supposed to reply, well, how did you get in if you've been calling all this time and didn't get in the first time? So I don't care what nobody says. These people got some explaining to do. Because that's the one thing I did not hear on the dispatch call, and I haven't heard it yet on anybody else's podcast. How the hell the friend eventually got in to see them dead, to get the kids out downstairs. This is just weird. So then it dawned on me. Well, if the friend got in, the friend should have been able to get in when they first called in. Stay woke, everybody. So that means Michael left the door open after he killed him. Make it make sense. He left the door open. Let's weigh it out. News Nation is the source, everybody. We know it's wrong to ask why. You know, they even appear crass. And naturally, there's no right reason to unalive a person. But we know people can do some evil shit now. Not saying these people did, but just speaking in general, we have some evil people that do evil stuff that'll lead somebody to pop off and do something to them. But the detectives always say, still, there's no reason for you to take the life, even if somebody wronged you, hurt you. Some of you may agree, some of you may not. So this is why I want to know what was going on with this family and Mr. Michael. Had they had contact, Monique and Michael, was she calling him, talking to him, sharing things? Was he calling her? Was he asking her to get back? Was she asking him to get back? Did he fall in love all over again? Or was he angry the fact this woman moved on, was happy, had kids? She got with a dentist, for God's sake. and he's offended. He was offended. Allegedly, she owed him $1,200 in a divorce decree. Don't know if she paid it. I'm curious to that. Did she pay him that money? But this is what I said to myself about that. Who cares if she paid it or didn't pay it? Because the fact that a woman bought her own damn engagement ring and wedding band, that's more money than what the $1,200 she allegedly owed you for a debt. And I can't see in my head a woman buying her own wedding rings. So then I have to ask, well, then who proposed? Did she propose to him? Because this sounds crazy to me. And I get it. We are all flawed, make mistakes. But I ain't never heard of no woman buying her wedding rings unless she's with a bum who ain't got no money. Checkmate. Come on with it, quick. She's with a cheapskate. Because you got to remember, he's going to school, so he owes lots of money. He ain't got no money to throw around. And everybody knows this about anybody going to law school or medical school. You ain't got no money to throw around for $6 coffees, this and that, Gucci sunglasses, shades, unless you got a nice mommy and daddy with some pocket change. Stay woke. So it's usually the woman taking care of the guy that's going to graduate school, PhD. That's what happened to Betty Broderick. Was sent her over into the deep end. She took care of her husband when they were in college, had their kids young, which was a mistake. Should have never had no kids. The fact that he went from medical school and then switched up at the last minute and decided he wanted to become a damn lawyer. And Betty stuck by him, her version, or somebody's version. Then they later moved to California. He becomes a bigwig, and he no longer needs Betty Broderick. And it sends her over the edge. He's sleeping with his secretary. Don't give a F-U-C-K. And Betty can't accept that her husband's sleeping around, and he doesn't want to be with her anymore. And even after they divorced, Betty could not move on. Calling the house, cursing, leaving dirty text, voice messages, children begging her to stop. And you know the rest. One night, she walked into that house, went upstairs, pulled the phone out of the wall, and executed her ex-husband and his wife in their bed. So this is why I said what I said last night. It is hard to see somebody holding on as a man 8-something years later, but it happens. And after I play this News Nation commentary, I'm going to share a story with you of someone who divorced. They got a divorce, a man and a woman, and the husband never moved on. True story. I will share that with you after this News Nation commentary.
The shocking twist in the double homicide of an Ohio dentist and his wife that happened just before New Year's. A suspect now charged and arrested, and we are learning he was previously married to one of the victims. Michael McKee is now facing 2 counts of murder in connection with the deaths of Spencer and Monique Tepe. Now, he is Monique's ex-husband. The couple was found fatally shot in their Ohio home while their 2 children and the dog were unharmed inside. Police were able to zero in on him as a suspect because of surveillance video in the neighborhood around the time the couple was murdered. Now, from those videos, they tracked McKee's vehicle, finding it in Rockford, Illinois. McKee is expected to appear in court in Illinois tomorrow, Monday. A new development tonight at Community coming together to honor Spencer and Monique for their funeral that took place today. And for more, we are joined by Jennifer Coffendorfer tonight, law and justice contributor for News Nation and former special agent with the FBI. Jennifer, thanks for joining us on this case.
Thanks for having me.
And one of the details early on in this investigation, both the children were found physically unharmed inside of the house. No signs of forced entry at that home. What does that information immediately indicate about the person who did this?
Well, it indicated certainly that they knew this couple well, that they had staked out the location well. It was also very clear they knew where the camera locations were because they evaded a lot of camera coverage, it would seem. And so somehow he came across that entry code to enter the residence.
McKee himself, a vascular surgeon in Illinois and California, according to the Columbus Dispatch. His medical license record showing no disciplinary history or no malpractice there. And then his criminal records only showing traffic-related tickets in the past. He has been charged. He has not been convicted. Are you surprised by the previous profile of this suspect?
Not really. When I look at this case, we knew it was going to be very personal for somebody to go up in the bedroom and kill these individuals with a gun. So we knew it was very personal, somebody who knew them. What is interesting, though, this divorce happened about 9 years ago. They were married for such a brief time, only 7 months. And so that is strange, but I think it was a deep-seated resentment and hate that just built up and finally came to this conclusion.
And we know the murders happened just before the couple was about to celebrate an anniversary. I mean, is there anything to that timing that is significant or jumping out to you?
I think it could be. You know, when I look back at the Brown University shootings, Natasha, remember that individual, now that we have his sort of manifesto of why he did it, he had a deep-seated resentment that stayed with him for 3 years. I think that this could be a situation that's very similar, that it just built up over time and finally came to a head. And probably that anniversary could have been part of the reason.
Talk to me more about how this suspect was identified and found, because you say he did seem to have some knowledge of surveillance cameras and trying to evade them, but he was ultimately found, interestingly, through surveillance footage in that neighborhood that police used. They saw him entering around the time before this was suspected to happen and then leaving afterwards, and then they used all of this to track his vehicle during a 10-day manhunt. Walk us through what that investigation looks like.
Right, exactly, Natasha. He couldn't evade all the cameras. There were just too many ring cameras and street cameras. And that footage from that alley between 2 and 5 a.m. was critical for law enforcement. Once they had him on camera, they could continue following that path that he took, which ultimately led to the vehicle he entered. That vehicle he entered then was registered to him. It was his vehicle, and they found him in Illinois. So great police work in tracking through that video surveillance.
And obviously this case so tragic, and one thinks about these 2 young children, the dog in the house. Is there anything that we should be taking away from a case like this?
I think the one thing is if there is a domestic situation that just keeps on lingering, and I would believe it's going to come out that some people knew about maybe some issues, maybe a recontract, maybe had some concern, that they really have to take these things seriously. This individual was obviously, if it ends up being him, very disturbed.
And tell me more about that, Jennifer. If someone like the wife here, Monique, were to have reached out to you before this happened and say, I'm concerned, I have an ex, he's not letting us be, what would you tell them to do?
Well, first of all, I would say, obviously, get rid of all contact, block everything, don't let them communicate. Secondarily, I would say, get rid of those punch pad entry codes. Too many people likely had that. They had their wedding there. You need deadbolts. You need locks on your doors that are secure, that no one knows except for your family. Those were the 2 major things that I think might have led to this.
Jennifer Coffendorfer, appreciate the analysis as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe.
News Nation is the source. Well, I brought you all commentary about the keypads. You know, they're different now because it's digital. It'll just be a screen. But the point is, anything can malfunction, as I explained to you all in the live last night, with the battery going dead, fingerprints on the monitor could be an issue. Sensors, you know, anything can go down, mess up, and then it could be the obvious. Somebody let him in. Somebody gave him the code. Or they didn't lock the damn door. Take your pick. I don't know how he entered, which door he entered, but so far there's no breaking and entering, no ransacking, no theft, no. And then in the end, you really don't know what he took out of there. I always tell people that. It's easy to say, oh, there was no this, there was no that. You don't really know what he took. You have no idea what that man took out of there. Okay, he may not have been walking out with a flat screen, But he may have taken wedding rings, some jewelry, something to show I got her and him. Stay woke. Could have took her underwear or anything. People are creepy. Coffin Dapper says, get rid of those punch pads. Dead boat, dead boat, dead boat. Exactly. You want to hear the perpetrator come in. You want to make it hard for him or her to get in. And when you're living in a city, hey, people still probably got iron gates on their doors. I know my sister had them on hers. Back door, front door. So at least a person is making noise trying to get in your place. They not be appealing in a nice neighborhood. People want the glass in the door. You know, a lot of people abroad in the UK, they all have glass in their doors. It's very interesting. And I always think about, don't these people worry about somebody breaking in their house, keeping the glass in, even with an alarm? Some people don't care. They'll kick that glass in. They don't care about an alarm being on there. Then, of course, you know, they can cut the wires. Won't matter about an alarm phone system working. Once your wires are cut outside, stay woke now. Now, the story I said I was going to share with you. True story. Another true story during this live. And I will tell you who the people are because all of the people are no longer alive. My uncle was married to a woman, and the marriage did not work because my uncle was a whore. He was a male whore. He slept with every woman that had a pulse, small towns, small jurisdictions outside of the general area where I am now. And eventually she found out, my aunt. Women kept calling her house, hanging up, saying things. So they finally divorced. She took it hard. And eventually she learned that my uncle made a mistake. He told her he made a mistake. But the point is, she was hurt. She was devastated. She never wanted to relive that again. The point I'm trying to make in this version, extension of the Queen's life, is that my uncle never moved on from Sharon. I'm sorry, because they're not here. They're all deceased. He could not move on from Sharon. Anytime he would talk to me over the years, I think they divorced in 86, 87. Over the years, he always wanted to know how Sharon was doing. How's her children? How's the grandchildren? How's this? When's the last time you saw her? Now, mind you, he married the mistress, Dorothy. Dorothy's probably still alive somewhere down in the country. That's a whole nother story. And Dorothy knew that my uncle never got over his first wife, okay? I do believe Dorothy and other women were also playing on Sharon's phone over the years when word had got back that my uncle had been visiting my aunt's house. He was there, you know, times he would go check on her, stop by her house. People started gossiping. Word got back. I guess, you know, his car was down in the driveway. She had a deck put on, and, you know, people speculated thinking that my uncle had paid for it. Either way, if he did, that's his done. That's between him and his pocketbook. The point is, when you're in a small town, people talk. So Dorothy knew that my uncle, Jerry, never got over his wife, his first wife. And my uncle stirred up nothing but SHIT over the years because he could not get past the feelings he had for my aunt. He was always gossiping, making up stuff, trying to do anything to just be in the center of anything pertaining to her, and it was pathetic. I mean, outright pathetic. So I can speak on someone that I knew as a man who never moved on. Remarried, married the mistress, but he wasn't happy. He told others, he told my grandmother, his mother, he wasn't happy. My grandmother even went to her once and say, hey, he wants to get back. He loves you, blah, blah, blah. And my aunt had to tell her, I'm done. It's over. We are divorced. I don't want him back. Now, my uncle didn't try to unalive her. but he kept up mess. And that's what misery can do to you. Stir up any rumor, nonsense, because you can't have the person. And it was sad because I ended up having words with my own uncle when he ended up putting me in some drama pertaining to her. And I told him, I said, that woman has moved on and you're just steady stirring up shit when you have a whole wife. So love the one that you're with. And it's sad that I was a young person, you know, an adult, of course, but having to tell somebody you had a whole wife and you're steady trying to stir up shit with somebody who you were already married to. You made that decision. That's on you, that you could not keep your penis in your pants. And that woman filed for divorce and she has moved on. She doesn't want you back. And she never took him back. To my understanding, they never slept with each other. But he could not move on. I don't know what the deal was with this fella here, Michael McKee, but he was holding some type of resentment, as Coughlin Deffer says in his commentary. And I don't know what the resentment could be, no more than just Monique bowed out. And she was only with him 7 months. So that should tell you something right there. Now, some of you are questioning why it took 2 years to get the divorce. I'm going to tell you something that I haven't looked it up yet, but I'm going to give you a for instance. In the state of North Carolina, and North Carolina has some strange backwoods ass laws. In order for you to file a petition to get a divorce from your partner, you have to be separated 1 whole year in order to file for a divorce. Meaning, you have to show proof that you live in another place for 1 whole year. Because my friend, she had to do it in order to be divorced from her bum ass husband. So maybe this is the law in Virginia. I don't know if it is or not, but it's possibly the reason why it took her 2 years, because she had to show proof they didn't live together. So every state's got their own laws about filing for divorce. And in North Carolina, you have to be out of your house from your partner. And you got to show proof you live over here, he lives over there. And that can be a jacked up situation when you're wanting to get the hell on with your life. And now you've got to play footsies with the court to get out your damn marriage. And trust me, my friend at that time, she went through a lot with her dog ass husband, who was similar to my uncle, a male whore, liked to spread it around. But in the end, he suffered. Because as I have said so many times on this network, God don't like ugly. And eventually that penis became no good because he ended up getting sick and being in a nursing home. And then there was none. Nobody there, no more women. Story over. Is that the case with these two when they were married? We learned that she also lived in a whole other state with her husband, Michael. She was one place, he was in Virginia, something like that. She moved on. 7 months. What in the hell can happen in 7 months? A whole lot. One, you're with a tyrant. You're with a male whore. You're with somebody who's rude, nasty, ignoring you. You're not having sex. You're not talking. There's no communication. He's a crybaby. He's a whiner. He's a manipulator. He's a gaslighter. He's just negative. I don't know, but he's 2-0, and one of them is dead. So now, wife number 2. We learned that he also married somebody else. Shut your mouth. Where is this wife at, and what the hell could she be thinking right now? Whoa! Shut your mouth, Satan. I dodged a bullet. Yes, you did. And that's what's also scary when you hear these type of stories. The person who can live and give their version. Now, are we going to hear from this lady to tell us what happened in marriage number 2? Lifetime, Netflix, I smell it coming. It's on its way. Number two, wife number two, what do you have to say and tell us about this food? Why are you two not together? And then two, him getting with number two could have been a rebound thing. You know, okay, well, I'll get out here, try to get me another wife. Eh, but he's not husband material. I remember Elizabeth Taylor once said in an interview, I would never date a man that I couldn't marry or wouldn't marry. Now, some will say that's a joke because she was married at least 7 damn times. The point is, she wanted what she thought would be marriage material. And some people are not marriage material. And frankly, and I know some of you will agree, a lot of people aren't even dating material. Come on with it, Queen. How the fuck can you be marriage material when you're not suitable to be dating? Because it takes one to know the other. If you are not kind, you are not respectful, you are selfish, you are self-centered, you are a liar, you're a manipulator, gaslighter, defrauder, thief, whatever, you can't do nothing dating or married. Checkmate. You're not suitable to date. You definitely ain't suitable to marry, and you sure don't need to be nobody's parent. 3-0. You have walked in life and you have seen people and you have said to yourself, how in the world is she with him? Oh my God, how did you marry him? Why are you married to him? Oh, you need to leave him alone. Oh, you need to divorce. Oh, run away. Change your name. Go underground. Yet the person hangs on for dear life. Knowing they are with an A1 loser. You see it every day. And I have said this so many times, and I said it in the live last night. You see people all the time, social media, TV, they're running to the altar to get married. And it's not even 2-3 years later, here comes Entertainment Tonight, people saying they're filing for divorce. They moved out. He's over here. She's over there. He's seeing Susie Mae. She's dating Dick. And you're like, well, damn, what happened? I'm going to tell you what happened. We are lonely creatures. And we gravitate towards bullshit. And we know that we're in bullshit and refuse to bow out and try to make it be what it ain't. I know because I speak from experience. You hold on and hold on and hold on, but you are slowly sinking in quicksand. Wanting the person to be what you want them to be, but they can't be what you want them to be, what you need, because they don't have the tools. And we as adults have to accept it ain't working. It ain't going nowhere. And perhaps Michael has never accepted. It was never going to be, it wasn't meant to be. That's why they were not together. But you see, your mind will tell you other things besides the truth. But Jack Nicholson once said, you can't handle the truth. Exactly. Because your heart is weak. But I love him. I love her. But maybe they don't love you. But maybe they love you, but you two don't get along. You're doing disrespectful things, and they're tired. And they want out. And you cannot expect a person to hang around and hang on to you for dear life while you're dragging their knees and your knees are getting bloody, elbows bloody for your benefit. And I think most of you know that you have been in this situation before, that you were hanging on to the tail of that damn car with bloody knees and bloody elbows until you finally decide, I'm going to let go. And she did. But look at the end result. of letting go. Fast forward 8.5 years later, Monique has moved on, allegedly happy, has 2 children, and she is unalive in her own damn house by her ex-husband. She and her new husband. You can't make this up. And as I said in the live stream last night, imagine she was awake when all this was going down. What she could have been thinking. What the hell is this? And before she could even react, poop, 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 she started dead. That's be scary as hell. I pray the children did not see or hear the unaliving of their parents. I feel sorry for the people who have to eventually tell these children what happened to their parents. I don't know when they will feel it's appropriate to tell these children that their parents are deceased and not coming back. And that's a hell of a burden I also carry as a child, to be living with people that are not your biological parents. And we have to also pray for them, because we know how terrible things can go also when children get moved about. And I don't know who's going to take care of these kids. That may also cause problems down the road on who's going to raise the damn kids. See, people don't think about everything. I do. We're not just dealing with 2 dead folks and a guy locked up. We got 2 babies. And naturally, you're going to want to keep them together. And then you got to pray that the people who take care of them, hell, they're right in their damn mind. What a mess. What a mess. Rage, envy, jealous. I can't believe this. She's moved on. She went and got a dentist, for God's sake. I'm a doctor. I'm a heart doctor. I'm sure he's cocky. You look at that mugshot. That mugshot does say a lot. And I get it. Nobody takes a good mugshot, but you know what I mean. Damn. That face, that strong, those facial features. Woo! It's just something about it. But don't we say that all the time about people after they murder somebody and they take their mugshot? First thing you always hear, he's got dead eyes. She's got dead eyes. Well, those eyes weren't dead before, because somebody had been laying and sleeping with these people, making babies with them and trusting them. Checkmate. Did this man, Michael David McKee, ever exhibit, violent behavior toward wife number 1, wife number 2? Any girlfriends? Are we going to hear horrible stories from other women who have dated Mr. McKee, that he was controlling, arrogant, has a God complex? And I won't doubt that he did have it, because he's a heart doctor. Stay woke, everybody. I am king. And Monique don't want the king. Now, let's go into belly abuse. This is not to offend anyone related to the Tepes, but we're just going to assess the what ifs to how these people became unalived. Number 1, Michael and Monique have been talking for some time. They were cordial until somebody said, I still care for you. Somebody either reciprocated or somebody didn't. Somebody was reaching out to someone. Somebody didn't reciprocate. Could it be these 2 met up at some point? Social media, phone lines, kept the same number, don't know. And they were getting along just fine until, as I said, somebody said, I still care for you. Did he ever tell her that? Are we going to find out these 2 had been still talking? Could it be that they met up? Vinnie Politan says, oh, she had two small kids. She didn't have time for that. Vinnie. Now, come on. Did you not hear the story I told you guys the other day of the woman who was sleeping in the bed with her small child, allowing certain acts with her child and the boyfriend? She was married. Stay woke, everybody. Yes, she had an affair while the husband was at work, and she ended up marrying her lover, and the lover ended up molesting her child. So there's no such thing as she don't have the time because she's a stay-at-home mom with small kids. Well, most of the people who have affairs have children. Come on with it. And they're itty-bitty spiders. The wife could be stepping out. The husband could be stepping out. Could be both. Was Miss Tepe having an affair with her ex-husband, Michael David McKee? Did they ever meet? Could it be she misled him to think it was something, but she had no intention of leaving her husband? Or could it be they were friends, but he became attached or had never lost hope, and she had to tell him, hey, it's never going to be anything. I like you, we're friends, but I have a husband, I have children. It can't be anything. He was becoming irate, angry, so she had to block him. How did it go? Did this woman have contact with her ex at some point before her murder? And what is all the hate about? See, we don't know, because it may be just a simple answer. He never moved on, or they were speaking and talking. He was misled and or misunderstood her conversations. Which is it? And I think it's going to be devastating if we find out that there was something going on, even if it was just emotional. Maybe she and her husband had a fight. She reached out to Michael. They kept talking. And then Michael just hung on for dear life, thinking she'll leave him, she'll leave him. And he realized she wasn't going to leave, wouldn't comply, meet up. Who knows? Because the one thing we have to learn is that, say or admit, people are not perfect individuals. So I can't bank on videos and photographs of the Tepes as being a perfect union and happy-go-lucky. That was from 21. What you've seen in videos is almost 5 years ago. A lot could have changed in 5 years. And I'm not saying that it had. I'm just speaking in general terms. We don't know these people. We don't know what they had going on. And the reason why we can say this is for the obvious reason. 2 people are dead and somebody was able to get in their damn house. Either he got a gadget to open that damn lock. Why didn't they have a damn alarm on their house? Because what's the purpose of all this push pad shit on your door, doorbell cameras, and a person can pick the lock and you don't even know that they're in your damn house? No alarm is going off. Oh, y'all forgot about that. Doorbell camera is one thing. Where is the damn alarm? You didn't hear anybody mention alarm going off when his friend made his way in there. That's why I said something is off still with this story. How did the friend get in to see Spencer dead? Make it make sense. How did the friend get in? Did Michael leave the door unlocked when he walked out of there? I'm assuming he walked out the back since he was walking through the alley. If that is him on this video that's been released to the public, it has not been confirmed that it is Michael McKee. Could be, could be not. But he is on camera driving by their home, and that's where he messed up. There's a camera right across the street. City camera, Dodo Bird. You really wanted to get in that house, as someone said in the comment section. If that's your plan, it doesn't matter. You're getting in one way or the other, by all means necessary. So this means we're talking about a psychopath. Because if you're riding by, you had to have done your homework. You had to assume that people have doorbell cameras, security cameras, motion sensors, also a city camera sitting across the street. But you defied all that, which is logic, to say, I want these people dead. I don't give a fuck. And that means, my friends, we are literally dealing with a loaded pistol with 2 feet. So perhaps Michael does not need a bond. Because people, especially the police, they love to say, well, it was targeted, there's no threat, there's no such thing. So long as a person is dead, the suspect is a threat so long as they are breathing. They want to kill, still on the run, they will. If they get locked up, they want to choke somebody out, they will. Say, well. Now, how will he plead? Guilty, not guilty. Is he going to let this be a clown show? I've gave up everything for this woman. I'm going to let it play out and enjoy every minute of going to court, dressing up, watching them go back and forth, because I think he's going to get a jolt out of going to court and being seen, cameras in, cameras out. He's going to get some private sensation from all of this, because there has to be a point to it. Hello, Brooke. I had nothing to lose. I have forfeited my freedom and a career for this woman who I am angry about for whatever reason. That tells you he doesn't give a fuck about life. And you know that when a person doesn't give a fuck about life, that means they don't give a fuck about you. So this is why people mistreat people, you see. And I always have to keep telling myself, they are mistreating you because they don't like themselves. So how can I expect? It's almost like you're beating your head against the wall to make yourself understand this. How can I expect this human to care for me when he don't love himself? I want somebody to really think about what I'm saying. You can't love others. You don't even like yourself. Come on, preach, Queen. We ain't got to talk about love. I don't even like my damn self. I have watched it recently with someone spazzing out, and they're saying they don't even know why they're alive. And I said, don't say that. Don't claim that. Because, you have to be very careful what you put out into the universe. Because let me tell you something. Karma will walk up on you and give you just what you asked for. Oh, you want to be dead? I'll give you death. I'll give you death. It's a fool talking. Now the person is acting like they eyed. Just nonsense. And I told him, like, you need to get it together. See, it's that negative, bad energy. And I was watching a YouTube video today. Oh my God, it was a point. It was just spot on. About letting people into your home. I was trying to get off the subject, but it's all the same. People carry things with them. And this story is no different than what I'm talking about. Every day you're carrying some type of spirit with you. So whether you are going to work, at home, church, the gym, Walmart, that spirit is right there on your back. Okay? And you are putting something out into the universe. And it can attract something good, something bad. You also can let the wrong spirit into your home. And I was listening to this girl talk about, trying to help someone. And she realized she didn't want that spirit in her house because the spirit didn't have any boundaries. Friend was needing help, but she wanted to bring her boyfriend. And the queen was talking mad shit. I walked through this house and listened to that video, and I was like, what? It was as if the girl was in here talking to me. I was talking back to that TV, honey, just like she was in here. She's like, yeah, she wanted to bring her boyfriend, come stay with me. And I thought, well, your boyfriend can't stay. We don't allow that in our house, man and woman living in, sleeping in the same room without being married. And some people might think, well, it's a new day. What's the big deal? The big deal is she got a whole man. And if they ain't doing well over at A, they ain't getting ready to do better at B. Stay woke now. Because somebody had missed the boat. She got a whole man out of town. So what the hell would she look like moving to her friend's house and taking this lump of clay with her for free? They ain't gonna do nothing when they get to the next place. Somebody don't hear me. And the girl said, I realized while I was talking to her, she's not coming here. And she's not bringing her man. And the more the girl talked to her, she still kept trying to make this woman accept her bringing her boyfriend. So let's try this on for size. Oh, you're going to love this. She said, well, how about we come, but I stay in one room and he stays in another. Oh, my God, Queen, I could have flipped this whole house upside down. Wait a minute. It's my damn house. That's what I would have told her. I would have cussed her black ass out. I'm not letting you come here, ma'am, with your man. Anybody paying attention to the story? See, this woman don't have no boundaries. And obviously the man, he don't have them either because he's living with her and he's not helping her to where she shouldn't have to go move out of town. Because that means if they're moving, they ain't in good shape where they are. And so why would you think you can go stay with your woman in somebody else's damn house? Because you're not going to do nothing because you ain't doing nothing where you are. Checkmate. And so this woman realized that this woman has no respect for me because she's steady trying to get in my house with this man. Exactly. And this is the first thing I also thought. If the woman lived by herself, she might end up a Tepe story. Come on, Queen. You let them two demons get in your house and they could knock you off, put you in a tub, and nobody know nothing. And they could be doing just what them people were doing that morning. I'm looking for Susie. I'm looking for Susie. Oh, she not here. Then they come back 2 days later. I'm looking for Susie. I'm looking for Susie. Oh, she not here. And then somebody gonna start asking questions. Well, who are you? Oh, I'm her friend from Detroit. Well, why is every time I come here, Susie ain't here? Oh, she work a lot. Well, something don't sound right. Well, I'll let her know you stopped by again. See, this is how a lot of people end up dead. Fooling with the wrong spirits. This is how people end up dead. You let the wrong people come in your periphery, and all they want to do is take. And I don't know what happened with this woman and Michael in their marriage, but it was short-lived. And that's telling in itself, even if Michael had not remarried. Now, Michael remarried and he's divorced. So when I saw that yesterday or the day before, you know, Queen was like, "What? He got another wife? Well, where's she at?" Huh. Somebody said, "Y'all better go find her too." You got that right. You got that right. Oh, where is that wife? And what happened in that marriage? And then somebody might say, "Well, you can't just say he's a bad guy, even though he did murder his first wife and her husband." Well, okay. But then what is he if he's not a bad guy? You know? Because you know there's going to be all type of people that's going to try to ascertain what was going on in the Tepe house. Maybe things weren't as hunky-dorky as they have made it out, or the version we have gotten. And the one thing I know about people is that they are predictable. They covet. They lie. They manipulate. I don't know if these Tepes were happy. I don't know if any of them were stepping out on the other one. I don't know if this man was friendly with both. The Tepes could have been. And that will be something, as someone had put in the chat, who's to say he wasn't in town and just called them and said, "Hey, I was out drinking and I need to crash at your house. Do you don't mind, do you?" Because we do have people who can still maintain a friendship with their ex. And as I said in my lives, I have seen this a lot with Caucasian people. A lot of black folks, we can't do it. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is. For most of us, when we done, we are done. Ain't no birthday parties, ain't no going to no bar mitzvahs, ain't no going to no nothing. May not even speak if we saw each other in the damn grocery store. And all black people aren't like this, but it's just kind of like a black joke. Ain't no going to dinner. Guess who's coming to dinner? Who coming to dinner? My ex-husband. Hell no. Hell no. Even if there's no animosity. Sometimes it's best to let sleeping dogs lie. And that's the difference with some races. We're all different creatures. Black, white, Jewish. We think different. We act different. And for all we know, this white couple, they were happy-go-lucky and may not have been a problem with Michael. For all I know, Michael could have been talking to Spencer and Monique. But something jumped off. Something jumped off. Because it would be really interesting to find out that these people were actually talking to one another. But then something jumped off. And a wire got loose. And the man said, "Oh, she ain't leaving him. She just really ain't gonna leave her husband. She done made kids with them. I still love her." Could that have happened? I don't know. Just hypothesizing. Because I think a lot of people can't quite understand a man holding on for dear life for 8.5 years. But as I told you, my uncle did it. So I can speak on that because I witnessed it with my own eyes. My uncle held on to his first wife probably until he took his last breath. And he was married to the mistress. And the mistress knew. She had to have known because we all had a falling out. So I know she knew. Because she overheard him talking to me on the phone about my aunt. But as I told her and I told him in the voicemail, I said, first of all, if you were living in your truth, there would be nothing for you and your wife to be arguing about and putting me in the middle because I don't have nothing to do with the fact you still love your wife. And I let that stupid wife know that. Number two, you can't get mad at Queen because your husband still loves his first wife. So all y'all can walk around and act a donkey's ass. I sleep good at night. I'm not getting ready to hold that burden. You see, this is what I keep trying to explain to people. Queen done lived, honey. I have seen it all. This man loved his first wife, and she did not want him back. And he made us pay because she didn't want him back by spreading lies and rumors and making up stuff. And the wife finally overheard it in a conversation. She heard him talking to me on the phone. But like I told her, I don't got nothing to do with that. So my uncle, he's calling me talking crazy like he got a doppelganger. Well, she overheard the conversation and she's upset and saying we were disrespectful. You were disrespectful. I said, how the fuck am I disrespectful? You called me. You called me and asked about your first wife like you always do. How am I the villain? Honey, the stories I can tell you make your hair stand on top of your damn head. See, Satan uses people. People need a scapegoat because they know they have wronged people. My uncle knows he's dead now, but he knew he wronged his first wife. And when he divorced, he got with that second wife. He realized, oh shit, I done made a mistake. I want my wife back. But she didn't want him. And why would she? Because my uncle was cutthroat, honey. He was sleeping with everything that had a pulse. And in this day and time, somebody would have came up short, if you understand what I'm saying. Or dead. You teach people how to treat you. That's the point I'm trying to make. You teach people how to treat you. I don't know what went on in that first marriage, but the girl wanted out and she got out. And eventually she went on a few years later online, met Spencer, and they hooked up, had children. End of story. Until December 30th, when all hell broke loose. And as I said in the earlier live, I don't know these people. I don't know what they had going on, but I know people have secrets. And that's what will be devastating to the outside people, such as the family, if there was something going on with Monique and her first husband. Because that's what they're going to say to themselves. Oh, my relative is dead because of this woman messing around with her first husband. Then somebody might say, well, it's not her fault. She didn't know he was a cuckoo bird. And I pray just so her memory won't be defamed, she didn't have anything going on with Michael McKee. Now let me speak to Michael before I check out of here. Michael, what the hell were you thinking? Carrying your ass over there, stalking and looking and lurking and going up in that house and killing them people. Was it worth it? You have given up your entire livelihood, a high-paying job, career, for what? Because somebody don't love you, somebody left you? Nobody's even thinking back to 2017. Nobody was thinking about it but you. And if somebody was still talking about it, you should have told them to kiss your ass. She's gone on, I'm gone on, move on. Because we do have some messy people. Where's that nice lady you were married to? What happened to her? And for all I know, somebody was doing that to him. Sure was a pretty girl, sure was a nice girl. How'd you fuck that up? Because we got people who got messy parents, overzealous parents, relatives. They always like to throw salt on the wound. Could be somebody was still throwing salt 8.5 years later. This is what I said about them spirits. You got to remove them. because you can let that shit taint you. And obviously, this man had a bad spirit about himself. No matter what was going on, whether he talked to her, didn't talk to her, they had an affair, emotional affair, whatever, friendship, he fell back in love. The point is, what would lead him to say, okay, I'm getting ready to go over here and kill these two people? It's a bad spirit out of the way. And we're not supposed to blame the victims. I don't know these people. I don't know what's going on with them. But he took the wrong way out. And he don't understand. We all have been there. If this is about loneliness, being rejected, forfeited, it happens every day. People leave people, desert people every day. People choose other people thinking the grass is greener on the other side every day. You have to accept it. When they don't want to act right, they don't want a commitment, they don't want to remain faithful, they don't want to be a parent, whatever the issue, you have to say, I've done all I can do. I'm done with this bullshit. You get your luggage, I get mine, and we're going to call it quits. It wasn't worth it. No way sitting in that cell, he can honestly say to another human, dying in a box was worth it. You are 39 in your prime, dude. You probably haven't even sailed half of the United States. And you were willing to forfeit it to kill two people and leave the two children and a dog behind. And God forbid he left the door unlocked. Any other joker could have went up in there and did something to the children. This motherfucker is evil. I don't care if he was in love, fell back in love. I don't care. You ain't the only one that cares for somebody. Lots of us have stories, but we ain't plotting to go unalive nobody. You stole 2 lives and you ruined 2 more, plus the family members and the friends, all because you didn't get what you felt like you deserve. Because I believe that's what this is about, is it not, Mr. McKee? You obviously felt like you owned her, because in order for you to take a life, you felt like you owned her. Private property. And perhaps that's the reason why Monique left you in the first damn place. No boundaries. No respect. Now, I will say this. It is said they met online, Spencer and Monique. But the weird part is that all 3 attended Ohio State University. So I was wondering if maybe these people all knew each other as students. I've not heard that they did. But you have to admit, that is very odd, considering all of them have lived in different places besides Ohio. Put it on paper. The second oddity is that Monique chose doctors. I find that odd too. I know I said it the other day and a lot of somebody put a shock emoji like, huh? Yeah. One doctor dentistry, one's a heart doctor. And all went to the same damn school. You have to admit this is very peculiar. But then someone could say this is nothing but 6 degrees of separation. The universe had these people passing each other every day at a university, and they all met back up December 30th, 2025. Shut your mouth. Now that's scary as hell. And what's going to be even more scary, they all went to the same school, never hung with each other, never dated one another. She meets Michael at some point, probably still at that school, marry him, don't work out, 7 months later, separate, get a divorce, go on her way, he goes his way. Allegedly, she goes online, they don't specify where online, meets Spencer, and poof, voila, he's a doctor and also went to Ohio State. And let's say she never saw Michael again after divorcing. Imagine all three people in one room, one with a gun, two dead, 2 years apart in age, and all three went to the same damn university. Make it make sense. That's my commentary. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below this video. Take the polls on my community page. Weigh in. Did this woman have some type of courtship, relationship, friendship with Michael McKee, her first husband? If it was emotional or sexual or both, did she mislead him? Did she tell him she was going to leave but didn't leave? Lied? What? Or he has just been obsessed for 8.5 years and wanting vengeance? Weigh it out, everybody. I'm waiting on the chief to give us information to how he got in his house in order for me to decide what the hell was going on with these people. Because I need to know how he got in. And I need to know if there was any contact between the victims, and Mr. McKee. If they were cordial, friendly, talked periodically, talked every day, it would make more sense. He got misguided and went off the rails. But the flip side could be, as in the story I just shared with you about my own family, he was a man who could not let go of his first wife, and he had become bitter and eaten up with jealousy and wrath, and he hunted her and her husband down and unalived them. Follow me on the Newsbreak app. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live. Thank you for your time. Queen's a little bit under the weather, so I'm not showing myself. Got something really cruddy going on with me, with allergies or flu or something. So I don't know what's going on with these eyes, but they were horrible. And so hopefully the doctors give me some advice tomorrow on what's going on with me. So just pray for the Queen. And I'll be praying for all of you all. This is the Queen's birthday month, January 29th. I'll be the big 5-5, God willing. Thank you for following me on this journey here on YouTube. You all stay safe out there. Mind your children. And prayers to this family. Prayers for these babies who don't have parents now. I pray for their journey. I pray for the people that are going to take care of them. Because, you know, we have talked about child care, foster care, child neglect on this network. And I'm always leery when people get a hold of kids. Because as I've learned in life, all is not what it seems. So videos, pictures, it's just an illusion. And I think you know this from your own life and dealing with people and watching YouTube and the news. Sometimes what you see is not really what you're seeing. What you're hearing is not the truth. You have to get in somebody's head to really know the truth of how they're living and how they're thinking. Check out my live from yesterday, April yesterday, on this same commentary. And check out my shorts uploaded pertaining to the Tepes and Michael McKee. Thank you for those who came in the chat. You all have a wonderful week. You have been listening to the Thought XF.